Hi guys, Juliana here. I needed to jump in here, so I just drove my kids to school. This is me in the raw, no makeup. I taught the 6 a.m. class this morning as usual, came home and got my kids off to school. I had to run to the store, so I called my mom to touch base, and I needed to bring this up and share with you. If you're close and in my circle, so close family or friends, just know that I'll probably use you as an example in some of my videos. So I had a plan to talk about sleep today, about sleep hygiene. And we're going to scrap that because I really want to get into this and talk about this. So on the phone with my mom, we're chatting, and she's telling me about her job. She works in a hospital. And she's telling me that she really just doesn't like the job and it's toxic and she's really unhappy. And this isn't the first time I've heard this. This is like she's been working this job for a great many years. And I'm listening, and there's a part of me when we talk to our parents or when we talk to somebody that we love and we're close to, we're feeling like we can be triggered by them, or we're going to tell them straight, or we're kind of agitated. And I was like listening, and just with like real compassion and love. My mom happens to be like a phenomenal photographer. So any of the photos that you see of me, she has taken. And she did this, like, I'll call her up on a Thursday and be like, I have a couple of hours. Should we do a photo shoot? And she's like, yeah. And she's totally game. And she pops in, and she's like 5 feet tall and the cutest little thing you've ever seen. And she's really into Zumba, so she's always wearing fluorescent pink. And she'll show up, and she's the type of person, like, when you're doing a photo shoot, especially for me, I have to shake it out and do all these crazy things because you're like, okay, I'm in the game, and I don't photograph well. I have such an expressive face and expressive eyebrows that I can make what my sister calls, like, the stupid look and look ridiculous on camera. And so, or I smile and she's like, why are you posing? My little sister says this. So I'm working with my mom, and she's like giggling. She's the cutest thing. And she's giggling literally from a place of like joy and like a childlike innocence and beauty. And it's the funnest time. And we usually spend an hour, and I change. She'll like lay on the floor to take videos of me, and then pop up and take the pictures like however she can to get into some of these crazy yoga poses that I do. And so I called her the last time, and the reason why I'm sharing this with you is the last time that we had a photo shoot together, I called her and I said, listen, you're good at this. What are you doing? Like, you're good at this. You have a nice camera. Why are you working a job that you don't like when people will pay you to do this? And she was like, flattered and thank you. And then today when we talked and she was telling me about her job and why she didn't like it, I said, oh, okay, yeah, and just, keep at it though, and keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting another reaction. And we all know what the definition that is insanity, actually. And she said, well, I have bills to pay. But I don't know about you, but if you've got a family and you wanted pictures taken of your family, guaranteed, look up a photographer in your area. It'll cost you about $1,000 to get them on location. I call up my mom and I'm like, meet me at City Hall. I've got 3 outfits in 40 minutes. She's like, done. And she's there. And she's telling me that she has bills to pay. But one of those photo shoots, she could charge a certain amount of money and achieve the results that she needs with her income by doing something that she genuinely loves. So the reason why I talk to you about this is side hustle, yo. So maybe when you watched my Absurd Dreams video, you're thinking like, easy for you, or must be nice, or whatever the case is, like, oh, whatever. And it's easy to judge or criticize. And usually when we do look at somebody else who's living in their light, and this is only me talking from my glass house, is that when I'm judging somebody else living in their purpose and their light and their drive and their truth, and if I get to a place of envy or jealousy or criticism or judgment, usually what's happening is that little thing that lives inside me that says, I want to do that too. I want to live in my light too. I want to live in my purpose. I want to be fearless too. That little thing in there says, you're not good enough and you'll never get what you want. And I have that voice, and you probably have that voice. And every big, Oprah has that voice. Everybody has that little thing inside you that says, who are you to think that you could do this? And like, Brene Brown talks about, the bitch in the back seat. She doesn't let that chick drive. She's not going to let that girl even ride shoddy. She's not going to let that girl be her GPS. You know why? Because you don't need that girl driving your car. You are completely wonderful and beautiful and talented, and you have everything that you need to create the life that you want. So I want to talk to you about a side hustle here for a moment, because if you watched my previous video and you thought, yeah, I'm not going to go and quit my job, that's not what I'm saying, not by any means. That is what I needed to do, and by nature, I'm an Aquarius. I'm like a fast thinker. I am the type that will scrap it all and start again and start fresh. But what I'm saying to you is that you can have a side hustle that will start to develop that creative part of you that's going to drive out those things that are important to you and that are going to light you up at the end of the day. And then you're going to come home and you're going to be a kinder partner to your people. You're going to be to whoever your partner is. You're going to be a better parent if you are one. You're going to be a better employee in your real job. And then at some point, your side hustle might become that thing because your why is so invested, because your drive to be that light is so invested that naturally it will evolve to make money. But you do not have to let your side hustle make you money. I want to tell you something. So I paint. I'm a painter. And so I go and like invest in all this paint. I've bought, every medium possible. Like I'll dabble into some oil paints and acrylics and multimedia, and I get all these massive canvases. And so for a while when we were living on the island, I was painting outside, and I loved it, and it was beautiful. And then I started thinking, hey, I could paint, and I could do paintings for kids' rooms, and I could sell it. And so at the time, I had a nanny who was also very creative. And if you're on here, hi, Candace, props to you. She was super creative and really talented. And so we started kind of collabing, and I was like, you should run this market, and you should, sell your things. And I was talking about like, well, this is what we could do together. And I'm like collaborating with her because that side hustle mentality is always a part of my life, right? Like I always have this idea that, okay, I love this thing, and how can I use that to make me more money or make this work for my family so that I could do more of what I love? And, I realized in time that although creative, I don't want to paint full time for a living. I want that to be my jam that I do on my off times where I can do it in the backyards and there's peace and the kids are playing and I can paint and I don't have to make it my job. And so I'm not saying that all of your side hustles or that thing that inspires you and drives you to be the biggest version of yourself needs to make you money. That's not what I'm saying. But I will say this, if you are frustrated with the job that you're in, if you're sitting there toiling day after day wondering, why does my life feel like this? What's happening in, I don't want to steal from Tony Robbins, but I'll explain what he says, is that if your life's blueprint doesn't match the condition of your experience, then you're going to be in suffering. And if you feel that your life's blueprint is not matching your life experience and you feel powerless to change it, you are going to suffer. And it's going to be devastating for not only your heart, but the people around you. You're not going to be able to perform as a partner, as a mother, as an employee. And so I want to tell you that if you have had this on your mind, this thing on the side, and you're just confused, like, I really like doing this, but I don't know how to work it into my life. I don't know how to make it lucrative, or I don't even know how to structure this thing, then get in touch with me, because that is what I do. I help people to make their things that are interesting to them and inspiring, and these things that are lighting up your heart, and we're going to bring that to light. And the only step forward is action. So my mom was like, so on the phone, I'm like, oh yeah, well, you know what? You could be sitting down right now to edit some photos, but instead you're getting ready to do 3 night shifts in a row over the weekend. And I said, oh, okay, but I'm just letting you know, like, I got to go work, but you could be editing photos. And she said, I have bills to pay, which I thought was funny. I already told you this. And then she said, well, that's going to take some steps. And I was like, yeah, the only steps that you need to take are to move forward with this, instead of sitting there hating your job, going to work 3 night shifts and wondering why your sleep patterns are all messed up. It's just like phenomenal to me. Anyway, I'm not judging. Mom, if you're watching this, I love you and you're amazing. But I want you to know that you can live your dreams. And I'm stoked to help you with it. So if I resonate with you and I'm somebody that you're like, hey, I could work with her, I could have her on my team, I've got some spunk, then get in touch with me and don't wait another minute. Please don't turn into a 60-year-old who wonders, why didn't I spend my life doing what I loved? Please, for the love of God, take some time in your life to do something you love, because there are people out there who absolutely need your talent, your gift, and you're actually, and again, I'm, regurgitating things that I've learned through my community. Marie Forleo talks about the fact that you are literally robbing those people of the opportunity to have your light in their life. So for me, I'm a coach, and that's honestly what I do best. And if I wasn't offering this service, if I wasn't out there giving my soul and like putting my heart on the table and just being vulnerable, then I would literally be taking from the people that need me. And I don't want to do that, because I love you all too much, honestly. So food for thought, no makeup, middle of the early morning. I just needed to throw this one down. So have an awesome day. I love you, and we'll see you soon.